So I've got a pan here. I'm just gonna pop it over the heat. I want it over about medium-high heat. Traditionally, satay, you make it on a grill. So if you are a brave person who in the middle of winter wants to fire up their grill, go for it. I'm sticking inside, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna do it on a grill pan. So the first thing I want you to do though is get 8 chicken thighs. I got boneless, skinless chicken thighs here. You can also do this with chicken breasts, but I like chicken thighs because they also are already kind of flattened for me. So all I did was cut them in half lengthwise and I added them into a bowl. You do this with chicken breast, I'd cut each probably into about 4 strips though. That would be perfect. So in here we're gonna make our marinade. So the first thing I need is some coconut milk. So I want about half a cup of canned coconut milk going right onto that chicken. This is gonna make a really rich, beautiful marinade. Then I'm gonna go on with some soy sauce. This is gonna be our seasoning, our salty seasoning. So I'm gonna go in with about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce right into there. Then into there, we're also gonna go in with an ingredient that if you don't have it, you should pick some up. But I do suggest getting a bottle around this size. This is fish sauce. You can buy it in a bottle this size or a bottle that's like 3 liters large. If you're not gonna use a lot of it, just go for the smaller one. It's basically a fermented fish sauce. It's a little bit funky, but it adds a ton of flavor. So I'm gonna go in with about a tablespoon of that into here. It's a staple in a lot of Asian cuisines. It's really, really delicious. I love it. So that's looking fantastic. And now we're gonna add in some more kind of flavor. So the first thing I've got is 3 cloves of garlic that I've chopped up. Those are gonna go right on in. Then I'm gonna go in with some shallots. So I've got a couple shallots here, just hanging out on my cutting board. Just 1 or 2, whatever you got. These are teeny tiny, so I'm gonna go in with 2. I'm just gonna thinly slice those shallots up and just add them in. Since this is a marinade, honestly, if you wanted to, you could also do this in a food processor. That would be fantastic. I hate washing my food processor though, so we're gonna use a knife and a cutting board today. All right. That's gonna go in, but in addition to that, I'm also gonna go in with ginger. Now, typically, if you watch this show, you know I keep my ginger in the freezer, but for this recipe, I'm actually gonna use fresh ginger, not frozen, because I actually wanna slice this. If you do have it in the freezer, that's totally fine. You can just grate it on in. You want about a 2-inch chunk, so I'm just gonna thinly slice that as well, and we're gonna add that on in. If you wanna mince this up, feel free, but again, this is gonna get that ginger flavor right on in, and as you can see, I'm not peeling it. We're not gonna eat this ginger, so don't worry about it. Then I've also got this fun little ingredient. Does anyone know what this is? Lemongrass. Nice. We got foodies in the audience. All right. Also, this was fun. It's like a wand. I've got a stick of lemongrass here. Now, typically with lemongrass, you don't actually want to eat it. So I like to give it a bit of a bruise with the back of my knife, just by giving it a bit of a smack. And then it tastes really, really beautiful. The perfuminess comes out. I'm going to chop that up as fine or as chunky as you want. You're just going to get all that flavor into that marinade. Perfect. And then last but not least, we're also gonna go in with something a little spicy. So I've got a Thai chili here. Now, my secret to cutting a Thai chili and not ending up hurting my eyes later is I just hold it by the end and I chop it like this. And I try to never touch the red part because I have fallen victim before to chili hands. It's not fun. I do not recommend it. All right, now we gotta pick all this stuff up using the knife to grab those chilies, add that right on in. And that's gonna make a beautiful marinade. Now, I also wanna use a couple dry spices and also add a little bit of sweetness. Indonesian food has a lot of really nice balance to it. So into there, we're gonna go in with 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. You could also do honey here, that would be beautiful. But the brown sugar is gonna balance everything out. Add that on in. Perfect. Then I'm gonna go in with a 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric. That's gonna give it that classic, beautiful, bright color. So we're gonna go in with that, 1.5 teaspoons. And then last but not least, this feels like I've emptied out my whole pantry, but don't worry, you'll still have some leftovers. I'm going in with 1/2 teaspoon of coriander. Coriander is the seed of cilantro. It doesn't taste like cilantro though, so if you don't like cilantro, you might like coriander. Then at this point, you wanna give this a good mix to combine. Once that's nice and mixed, you could also do this in a zip top bag. You want to set this aside for about 2 hours or overnight in the fridge, just to let it marinate. That's gonna get all the flavor in there. For now, I'm just gonna move on though, and we're gonna talk about skewering this. So when you're making a satay, typically you do want to do it on a skewer. That's how you get it. So I've got some bamboo skewers here, and they are in a little bit of water. This is going to help them not burn, especially if you're doing this on the barbecue. If you have metal skewers, you could feel free to totally use those. That would work perfectly, and you don't have to soak them. But basically what you need to do is grab a piece of chicken and just kind of thread it onto that bamboo skewer, kind of back and forth, just like a little kind of kebab situation. Pop that on. And then you wanna stick that on your grill. So I've got my grill heating over medium heat. It's pretty smoky because we have some oil on there. I'm just gonna go straight on, and that's the sizzle you're looking for. Now I'm gonna go give my hands a wash while that one sad little lonely skewer gets cooking. Obviously, I would do the rest of them too, but they're super easy to put together. And if you didn't want to skewer them, you can also just throw them on. Kind of takes the fun away from that satay vibe though. So while that's getting cooking, let's talk that peanut sauce. I love a peanut sauce so much, and it's really simple to make. So in my bowl here, I've got half a cup of natural peanut butter. If you're allergic to peanuts, you could do this with cashew butter. I've done it before, super tasty. Into there to thin it out and give it a bit more richness, I'm going in with about a quarter cup of coconut milk. Then I'm gonna go in with a clove of garlic that I've minced up, right on in. Then to cut back on that punchy garlic flavor, I'm gonna go in with the juice of a lime. This is gonna kind of help pull back on that spiciness, almost kind of pickle the garlic, pull back on that heat. Perfect. I love lime juice. It tastes so sunny. It's almost a little like more bitter than lemon juice, if that makes sense to anybody. You know, it's fun, it's tasty, it's delish. All right, now into there we're gonna go in with some fish sauce as well, just a teaspoon or so, just to give that little round kind of funkiness. And then to season this, we're gonna go in with a couple tablespoons of soy sauce as well. Again, this is gonna bring the salt content, so you don't have to add any more salt. Now for a little bit of heat, because I love that spiciness, a couple teaspoons of sriracha or whatever kind of hot sauce you like. Sambal oelek would be great. Perfect. Classic squeeze bottle sound. Am I right? All right. Now give that a whisk to combine. And this is looking so good. Honestly, if it's a little bit thick, peanut butter's kind of funny. When you add liquid to it, it tends to kind of seize up, kind of like tahini. So if it's looking a little thick for you, just add another splash of coconut milk and it'll come together absolutely beautifully. Okay, perfect. This looks fantastic. Let's give it a little taste. Oh. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so to serve this up, super simple. We've got our skewers that we've already cooked over here. You see those beautiful grill marks, that marinade that's soaked in. Pop a little bit of that sauce right on the side. Looking fantastic. And then to serve this up, scatter it with a few peanuts, just for some crunch, some lime wedges on the side. And then if you're like me and you love a little cilantro, chuck a little bit of cilantro right on there as well. Honestly, it's an absolute treat. I'm feeling pumped about it. I'm gonna do a little, wait, I'm gonna do one of these. This is the best part about being the cook, is you get to make a little taster for yourself. Okay, let's give it a go. Oh, that is delicious. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.